In the small town of Willow Creek, there was a house that stood abandoned on the outskirts of town. The locals whispered about its dark history, of the family who had once lived there and the tragic events that had unfolded within its walls. They said the house was cursed, that anyone who entered would never be the same again. Despite the warnings, Sarah, a young psychology student, was intrigued by the house. She had always been fascinated by the human mind and the depths of the subconscious, and she believed that the house held secrets waiting to be uncovered. One stormy night, Sarah gathered her research equipment and made her way to the abandoned house. The wind howled as she approached the creaking front door, the sound echoing through the empty halls. Ignoring the unease creeping up her spine, Sarah stepped inside, her flashlight casting eerie shadows on the walls. The interior of the house was in shambles, furniture overturned and wallpaper peeling with age. Sarah ventured further, her curiosity driving her deeper into the darkness. As she explored the rooms, she felt a chill in the air, as if the house itself was alive and watching her every move. In the silence, Sarah heard whispers, faint and indistinct at first, but growing louder with each passing moment. She tried to dismiss them as figments of her imagination, but they seemed to be coming from all around her, enveloping her in a suffocating embrace. As she reached the top floor, Sarah stumbled upon a room that seemed untouched by time. In the center of the room was a journal, its pages yellowed with age. Curiosity gnawed at her, and she opened the journal, the words on the page sending a chill down her spine. The journal belonged to a young girl named Emily, who had lived in the house with her family decades ago. The entries detailed Emily's descent into madness, her mind tormented by visions and voices that whispered to her in the dead of night. Sarah's heart raced as she read on, the words growing more manic and disjointed with each passing page. As she reached the final entry, the whispers around her grew deafening, a cacophony of voices vying for her attention. Sarah realized too late that the house was not haunted by spirits, but by the psychological torment of those who had lived there before. Panic gripped her as she tried to leave, but the walls seemed to close in around her, trapping her in a labyrinth of madness. The whispers turned into screams, the voices swirling around her in a frenzy of despair and anguish. In a last desperate attempt to escape, Sarah made her way to the attic, where she found a portrait of Emily, her eyes empty and devoid of life. As she stared into those soulless eyes, Sarah felt a darkness descend upon her, a weight that crushed her spirit and stole her sanity. And in that abandoned house on the outskirts of Willow Creek, Sarah joined the ranks of the tormented souls who had come before her, a prisoner of her own mind and the psychological horrors that lurked within the walls. The whispers never ceased, a constant reminder of the darkness that consumed her, trapping her in a nightmare from which she would never wake.